I'm Julie Bartke with Session Update. On Sunday, the Senate debated the E-12 education bill. The conference committee report increases the per-pupil funding formula by 1.5%. It funds voluntary all-day kindergarten, and millions of dollars are allocated for early childhood scholarships. The bill also reinstates the Gen Ed levy, which the DFL hopes will ease local property tax burdens. Here's some of the debate from the Senate floor.
The additional assistance that brings us well over $500 million and provides school finance reform as well. And the provision for the Gen Ed, now the Student Achievement Levy, was a key provision that we held out for and was accepted. And just like the fully funded program for kindergarten, and I thank Senator Clausen, Senate File 2, for his efforts on that. We provide flexibility in this as well. Senator Kent had provisions so that money that's used, as long as you have a full-day kindergarten offering, we have that. So for early ed programs, there's flexibility for the use of that kindergarten money as long as there's a full-day offering.
You mentioned that you want 100% of students to get a diploma. Is that what's important, or is it important that students that get a diploma have a level of proficiency?
The school boards and others have said, let's have students on a path for successful career and college readiness through tests that are aligned to address that. The high-stakes test doesn't cut it. There will be measurements in the system, and we have an expectation that through the reporting that is through the world's best workforce that'll be done on graduation rates, et cetera, that we'll get there. But Senator Thompson, I guess we just have a fundamental disagreement as to whether high-stakes tests work.
Senator Thompson.
Madam President, life is a high-stakes test. And I don't think it does us any good to delude our 18-year-olds into believing that it's not.
You got your bill, you're back on the path that we've been on for 40 years. A couple years ago, we took some bold steps, got off of it. You returned right to it. And ultimately, it's sad, because I am sad, truly, for what these kids that I see aren't going to have, because you're taking it from them. I'm like some others in here that mentioned, this isn't going to work, because you've been doing it for 40 years, and we've gotten the same results.
We're spending $15.7 billion in education. For the first time, we are increasing $485 million. Long overdue investment in our kids. We're not talking about early childhood education anymore and saying, oh, we really like, to put money into early childhood education. We are doing it. We are not saying that we feel sorry about the districts that cannot afford to pay for kindergarten. We are paying for it. We're saying you can send your child to full-day kindergarten if you choose to, because your school receives the funding to do that. We are sending more money to every school in every corner in the state of Minnesota. We are reforming integration. We talk about integration. Absolutely, I have to give credit to the members last year who decided that integration needed to be done differently. And I have to recognize our minority members for having the courage to ask that question and to help us move our state in that direction. I appreciate that. That opened the door for a new opportunity for integration, and we are reforming integration.
Every couple of years, we have these big bills, and it's been said, the education finance bill is big, and it's the biggest part of the budget. 42% of the state general fund is K-12 education. And we always, every time we do this, we have the opportunity to really make a difference. And I think we fail, and I think this bill is a failure. And it grieves me to be here and to say that, because we're spending a lot of money. And I've heard it said here today that, boy, for the first time, and pick a number, we're going to make this big investment, we're going to make all this difference. And I just want to remind members, in the relatively short time that I've been here, the first year I was here, 2003, The K-12 education budget was $5.98 billion. Now we're talking about an $8-point-something billion, 34% increase in spending in about 10 years. 34%. Has education improved 34% in the last decade? Have the graduation rates gone up 34%? Have test scores improved 34%? No, no. We haven't seen a 34% increase in enrollment that would justify this increase in spending. How can we go back and say, well, we've increased this spending, we've done all these things in the past, and I think what we all know is even though we've done that, nothing has changed significantly in what happens at the front line in the classroom, and year after year, too many kids don't get the opportunities we wish they would get.
For those of you that were worried or sad that this was same old, it's not. This is genuine reform. It should be bipartisan. I finally want to mention, in addition to what we've talked about for vocational education and for the testing reform that is supported, by the way, by school boards. School boards, they support many of these issues that we have. We've made true reform in the financing of schools.
The conference committee report did pass and is on its way to the governor. Now, if you'd like to see the final vote or you'd like to track any of the activity at the Minnesota Senate, just follow us. You can track that activity by following Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.